Hey everyone, Coach Morgan here. Today we are going to go over a concept called load versus capacity. And this concept is going to help us understand why do injuries happen in the first place, or why do we get hurt in the first place. A huge misconception when it comes to pain or injuries is we tie it back to one specific situation where we got hurt. But what we tend to ignore is everything that led up to us getting hurt in the first place. And when we can understand that, then we can start to take real actionable steps to getting out of pain or taking steps to not getting injured. So, let's go over this. Up here, we have a dashed line. That's going to be our capacity. When we are functioning under that line, we don't have problems. We're feeling good. When we cross that line, that's when we start to have problems. That's when we have those aches and pains and injuries. Not feeling so good. So let's go over this first block that starts those loads that come on our body. So this first one, we all start our day with this. This is what I like to call our anatomical differences. This is basically any part of our anatomy that isn't serving us in the way that we would like to. Think of this as like our old injuries. You rolled your ankle one too many times playing soccer growing up. You tore your ACL, then got it repaired. You have a bulging disc in your back. Any of those parts of our anatomy that isn't working in the way that we would like it to. That's our anatomical differences. Now the really good thing about this is that even if we have parts of our anatomy that isn't working in the way that we'd like to, we can still function below this line of capacity. Now this next one, this is our recovery, our sleep, our diet, our ways we manage stress. This is how well we're recovering from life. And we all have this. Someone who maybe they don't get very good sleep, they aren't eating enough food, or they're eating a lot of crap food, or they don't manage their stress very well, is going to have a really big box here. Someone who has great sleep habits, they eat mostly whole foods, they're hitting their protein goals, they're eating their vegetables, all that good stuff, and they have productive ways to manage stress, it's going to have a smaller box here. Unlike anatomical differences, this one is well within our control. Now, this next box, we also all have it. This is how well do we move? Can we touch our toes? Can we reach our arms overhead? How strong are we? Do we have any strength imbalances from left to right, front to back? Basically, are we strong enough to do the things that we are asking our body to do? This is what I call a functional diagnosis. Again, that is how do we move? Now we all have these first three boxes. Everyone has them. This one, there's not a whole lot we can do to change the size of that box, but the other two, there is a whole lot in our power, in our control to change. Now, we're all starting here, but as we know, there are things that we want and need to do in life that continue to add loads onto our body. If you're a parent, you got kids, you're in charge of getting them off to school, making sure that they have lunch and they're fed. All of that stuff that comes along with having a kid. We have a box for taking care of our kids. If you have a job, then you go off to work. We have work as a load. Then you go off to the gym, you've got a workout, maybe you do some presses and some deadlifts. On that presses, you're kind of feeling okay, but on those deadlifts, boom, you feel your back go, and you know you're going to be down for the count for another couple of days. What happened here wasn't that you pulled your back on that last deadlift rep. We need to look at all of the things that happened before that ultimately led to you pulling your back out during deadlifts. As you can see, those boxes bring us above our line of capacity. We have a problem. This is scenario 1. Scenario 2 is going to be someone who started to address their sleep, their diet, their stress. They start moving better and addressing any strength imbalances that they have. They start improving their flexibility and their mobility. They're moving so much better than they were before. Now, even when our anatomical differences stay the same, they cut their sleep, diet, and stress load in half by making some simple changes. They're starting to move better, so we also cut that functional diagnosis box in half. And now, they still have so much room to grow when we add on the kids and the work and the presses and the deadlifts, and they could even do a little bit more. That person is going to be feeling good as they move through their deadlift reps or their workout or whatever else they want to add on into their life. Now, this is without even changing what this person's capacity is, because as we train, our goal is to increase our capacity to move this line up so that then when we start to incorporate more into our workouts, when we do have a really stressful day at work, or maybe the kids are just causing a chaos in the day, we still have some room to function below our line of capacity so that we don't have those problems. This is why injuries happen in the first place. This is how we get hurt in the first place. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message. But yeah, this is our load versus capacity.